Hello everybody, my name is Eric Chermons, and today we're going to be checking out something that could be mildly controversial and might require certain amounts of viewer discretion depending on the kind of person you are and how you perceive certain things. This is no mere regular figure review, this is a robot girl figure review, a robot girl in a box figure review. This is Snail Shell's The Girl in the Box figure review. She's a 1:7 scale figure, and she comes in a 1:7 scaled cute little acrylic transparent box. And let me tell you, unboxing this boxed figure was no easy feat. I was in the middle of live streaming my Wuthering Waves video with my trying to get Chang Li. Oh, it was kind of a rough one. Not the luckiest person at all, but sometimes I am lucky. And this came in the middle of me live streaming that video. So let's get her open. I'm pretty excited. One thing I have to mention is I'm a little bit nervous because it's kind of got like a rattling sound effect going on. And oh my gosh, I hope nothing's wrong with her. Let's check it out. Ami card. Ooh, this box looks fancy. I usually ship with EMS because with my country, they're absolutely incredible. This time around, I opted for small package flying small so-and-so. I believe it's shipped country to country through the official country channels of shipping. It showed up relatively quickly, and also it cost me very little to have this shipped to my country, which was amazing. Wow. This feels incredibly premium. Not only that, so on the back of the box, we actually get a nice little Ami logo, Snail Shell logo up over here. These are all the details and the product warnings of the character. I suppose. I don't know. I can't read this. Nothing on the sides, but on the front, there's a gloss black on a matte black illustration. This is really pretty. I feel like I just bought like a new phone. I get that that's the point of this figure. It's just, this is the future, people. You're gonna have to get on board or get left behind. People will be buying robot girls and they're gonna show up in beautiful phone cases. Okay, here's the big moment reveal. Please don't be all rattled and broken. Oh my goodness, they ain't messing around. All right, so it's got a plastic smell to it like most figures do, but kind of like a weird plastic smell. Like, I would almost say it feels somewhat sour. I don't know how to explain it. It's not as pungent as usual, but it's a little different. So you open it up, and right when you open it up, already this feels like iPhone premium. Are you kidding? This is nuts. We have like some marketing, more marketing. Then we get, I believe this is the how-to manual to activate her and get her out of her packaging properly. This little thing to protect her. Well, I guess I had nothing to fear about her shaking around because check this out. That is impressive. This is the future. Only, you know, it's going to be a one-on-one scale in the future. Be prepared for it. It's going to happen probably sooner than you think. Everything is so well packaged. It's not moving around at all. It's got that really soft plastic that protects it. It looks nice. Comes apart very, very easily. Oh, it's magnets. The future. She looks like she's in this little egg. And this is what it looks like all emptied out. Very nice packaging. Super soft and well protected. My goodness, Snail Shell. Amazing. Gotta protect those little toes of hers. Tweaks. So this way you get that cool, like, oh, the packaging is there. It's lovely. Carry her to your friend's house. Bring her with you on your business trips. Yup, just so many little things, and they don't really explain to you where everything's supposed to go. So I had to look at a bunch of the company's production photos, while at the same time looking at the illustration artwork as my main reference. I opted for the illustration when inserting all the little pieces in the box the way I did. This box is a clear, transparent acrylic that is stuck together using magical, futuristic magnets. Wow. It is pretty cool. I love how we have 4 screws on the front and the back of this box. They look really cool, very on brand for what they're trying to sell here. Though in the illustration, they actually have like little tags at the end that are on the outside of the box. I would have liked to have that with this here. I think that would have been really nice. In the process of trying to install all these little doohickeys and accessories that this figure comes with, you're gonna get fingerprints all over the front of this box, all over the inside of this box, not to mention debris such as cat hair, maybe dandruff, a little bit of dust. It can be really frustrating, especially once you finally seal everything closed and you find out, oh my goodness, this is full of trash. So then you have to open it up again, but then when you do that, everything kind of gets misplaced, especially the little piece around her leg. It can all be quite annoying, but if you manage to finally get everything in place, this is an excellent box. It's perfect protection. It ends up actually protecting her from all this debris that's floating around the world, and fingerprints and all that sort of thing. It's also a lovely safe space box where she can't hear all the horrible complaints that she's been getting online. She's adorable, and she doesn't deserve half those complaints. But more on this at the end of the video when I give a little bit more of my opinion on the matter. She's loaded with accessories, all these cool little things like floppy disks with nice little illustrations on them, a remote control, cute little kitty ears, which I would have loved to see these be able to get attached to her. I feel like it's a missed opportunity that if somebody purchased this and wanted to take the cat ears out of the bag, it would have been nice to be able to put them on. I don't know why they didn't add that. And then she has a little user's manual, maybe it's a license, I don't know, but it has a lot of repetitive writing on it, which feels very much like broken AI. All these accessories come in pre-sealed little plastic baggies, which is really cool, very nice. And we get a double-sided tape, which is absolutely not easy to use, not particularly fun to go through, and it sticks to the box really well, but not as well to the actual little plastic baggies of these items. Yeah, it wasn't necessarily the funnest thing to get on. But once they're on there, it does look really cute. You actually can opt out of using them altogether, and you could have a nice, clear, clean box with nothing. But I love the idea of having all the stuff in the box. This is like the sort of thing you'd see in the future of Walmart when you're going to pick up your one-on-one robot girl to come help you out with your everyday needs. Oh, girl, if I had you, let me tell you, I would get my comic book done 2 times faster. It would be amazing. I'd be so happy. Not to mention, my wife and I would probably use her to help us out playing D&D. While I'm vacuuming, cleaning, and probably dusting, she could be doing more of my artwork, because that just seems to be the way AI is going in today's day and age. Oh my gosh, am I getting too dark on this? Is all of this just too dark? No, it's fine. She's got cute, bubbly blue hair and adorable, light, cute highlights. Can't say no to AI when it looks this cute. She also has this little circular leg piece that goes around one of her feet, not particularly well, and I actually broke that circular piece in the process of trying to flip it through normally. It just snapped. So that's infuriating. Be incredibly careful when you're doing it. Maybe you might want to separate her feet just a little bit to be able to slide it up the side of the leg. I didn't do this, and now my piece is broken. But it's not that noticeable, and it doesn't actually bother me that much because now it coils a little bit tighter so it stays on her foot a little better. I didn't want it to have to break to be able to fit properly. And connected to this weak plastic little circular piece, we have a receipt or model number or piece of some kind that says her name, perhaps. The little clip piece basically has the name Han written on it, so you can only assume that that's her name, or Han, or Han, 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 Han. Yeah, maybe I'm reading it wrong and it's not. Regardless, it's very cute. However, it's extremely irritating to put on. Putting her in this box and having that thing showing the way you want it to is not easy, and the slightest jostle of this box will make it fall over to the point where you're not even seeing it. It's facing the bottom, the back, who knows. It's just this thing I would have loved if it was on her permanently, or if they had just found a better way to have made it. As for wobbling, she does wobble ever so slightly, but really you gotta shake her up quite a bit, and so you're not looking at any kind of issues with that. Everything here is pretty solid and quite low to the ground. You could almost put other figures on top of it. Other Snail Shell figures, perhaps? In truth, this cute little sleeping beauty seems like she might need a couple of friends. Her face is very sad looking. Or is that just the face we all make when we're sleeping? Let's open her up. Ooh, yeah, ooh. Oh, gotta take this thing off. Let me be with you. She's really tiny when you take her out of this thing. I mean, she's still 1 on 7, but because she's in a curled up position, it's just so cute and little. It doesn't feel like the kind of little you could just put on your shoulder, but the little you gotta hold close to you and make sure nothing bad ever happens to her. You have to protect her. She's so small. She needs help. AI tricking me again. Despite being tiny, I'm sure that if she was a fully functional robot in an anime fashion, she could probably wipe out a giant human like me with ease with some crazy arm that opens up and turns out into a super mega blaster, probably blow off half my apartment. I'm going off topic. Her feet have a lot of personality to them. They look like they're holding a little bit of weight and pushing outwards, which is nice. The nails are sculpted on and have a beautiful gloss effect. And we get some gorgeous sculpt work underneath the feet, which is something that I feel like a lot of figure companies neglect. Moving up to the ankles, we have these nice little roller pieces where we feel like that's where she gets the swivel and rotation action for her feet. She is a robot after all. And they go into these lovely, somewhat tight thigh highs that have beautiful, darker, pearlescent blue shading, along with a highlighted color that resembles a bit the skin color. This is really nice. There's some indented line work here and there that have some black around them that give off that robot-y vibe. I find that these are only painted okay. They do seem a little blotchy, but due to the price point of this figure, I think it's pretty forgivable. More on this later. The stretch and folds of the fabric at the bend of the knee are really nice here, and I love that we get more screws attaching the material into the knees, which are done with a dark gray, clear, transparent plastic. You can see the inside of the knee where there's all these joints, cranks, and cogs, and this is so phenomenal. I would have loved to see a little bit more of this on other parts of her. It really pops out as a focal point, and it's very well done. Around the thigh, we get this layered scale effect that I think I would have liked to see some black line art here, or maybe some shading just to make it pop a bit more. And you can tell it's slightly tight based off of how her skin bevels out afterwards. The skin doesn't really have a lot of highlights to it, but it does have some shading, and it is very well sculpted. On her left butt cheek, they actually put in a tiny little beauty mark. And it's kind of a surprise to me that they would do something like this here at this point in the figure. It almost feels like it could just be anything. And I only say this because when I took her out of the packaging, some of the black styrofoam kind of got on her, and when I was taking it off, I noticed that, and I almost tried scratching it off to get to it when I went online and found out that, oh no, wait, this is supposed to be like this. Her underpants are a pearlized white with the very expertly done blue shading. Where we then get into her dress sweater. It looks really thick. It's kind of wrapped all around her. I like a lot of the folds in the fabric that they put in here. You can see that it's a darker blue coming out of the inside of this dress, and they're all smooshed up against the side of the box that she'll be put in. Along the back, we end up having a lovely little design for her Girl in the Box company logo, and that thick collar that she has going around the actual skin. Personally, I think that this could have been done a little bit better. It feels more like we've got the skin of her plastic being connected on top of her sweater as opposed to going into it and her wearing it. But it's not bad, it's just not amazing. As for the arms, she has these lovely robotic wirings that seem to go along the side and up into her wrist sleeves. The wrist sleeves themselves have these cute little triangle clips, and on the top of each one, we have different designs that seems like it might be a type of screen of some sort. Her left arm, which is nicely placed on her right shoulder, actually has a battery logo, and then on her right arm, nicely placed on her left shoulder, it seems to be her product information. I would have loved if we got a clear, transparent, mustardy looking orange on top of this, because that way it would have been a nice callback from her knees. It would have given off that 80s to 90s robot screen effect nicely. The hands here to me seem like they might be a little bit large, but I would never judge. And they're supposed to be holding on to her shoulder as she's curdled in this position, but they're not actually touching her shoulder. They're ever so slightly off. I personally would have liked to see them really holding on. But I guess at this point, she's not damaging her own merchandise. Some of you collectors out there like your robot girls in pristine shape. Something wrong about what I said there. On her shoulders, she has this nice little Brainiac robot circular logo. This is usually like an exhaust of some sort based off of all the anime I've watched in my life. Where her left one has a barcode, which matches up with the barcode that she has on her left thigh. Her back is very soft, very smooth looking. I love the pronounced indentation that we get on the spine. But one thing I have to mention about all her skin here is I would have liked to see indentations here and there to imply layering or connecting of different types of skin. Like this, it just seems a little bit more human. This would have given off a nice silicone fake skin effect, and I would have preferred to see that. Though in truth, the fact that she doesn't have this overuse of indentations and line art on her skin really gives her a nice balance because she does have a lot of detail everywhere else. Her face is soft, super round, and so flipping cute. I can't believe how cute it is. She has really cute rounded out cheekbones, a small little pointy nose, adorable sleepy face all around. The eyes are like, I can't believe it. The eyes are so well done. It's almost a shame that she's completely hiding them. The eyelashes are actually sculpted. It's not a decal, and they did an excellent job with the coloring and painting on them. Her ears strike me as being a little too high up on the head, and they really pop out quite a bit in the center. But this is more like a personal taste thing, and I don't think it's bad. It's just something a little different than how I would draw them, so, you know, I can't really knock it for that. Different is good. She has these little Christmas tree clips up in her forehead. They're really cute, and there's a bunch of little robot writing. They're the same on both sides. Now getting into her hair, because her hair, okay, first of all, I'm a huge Cammy from Street Fighter fan, so I'm freaking loving her hairstyle. We get beautiful shading and even a little bit of highlights here and there in the hair, which is surprising. Of course, like I mentioned in so many of my videos, I like to see those anime-style style, almost sticker-looking highlights, because it's just something that you see in so many animations, and I think it looks pretty. So it's just a personal preference of mine. I would have liked to see that here, but even though it's not here, it's still absolutely gorgeous. The sculpt work is very well done for the hair, extremely well defined, to the point where you see all of the hair clipping into its parts. You're not necessarily sure if that's the hair clipping in or the sculpt in general. They do a really good job at hiding the mold lines with this classic, tried, tested, and true tactic. Her two braided twin tails go all the way down and actually feel boxed in around her, so they look nice in that box. Up to the elastics at the end, which have that little brainiac circular triangle design again, and adorable little poofs of hair that pop out. They're not big, they're small, super cute. Almost feel like little flowers. My one real gripe with the hair would be the odd addition of putting in braided hair along her left chest. It's not shown on the right side, but on the left side, there it is, coming through. It doesn't look awful, but it doesn't look amazing, especially at the bottom. It seems like it's really cut into nothing. The parts aren't pushed in strong enough to make you feel like the hair is going under, in, or around anything. And where does this hair come from? Because if you look underneath her left jaw, you could easily say it's the hair coming from behind her ear, but at the same time, could you? It's cut off there, and it's very obviously cut off there. There's a huge gap. I don't think they needed to add that random braid there. From some angles, it looks good, but from most, I'm not particularly fond of it. Upon her release, she was going for 11,800 yen. That is incredibly cheap. Even after paying shipping and import fees like I did with her, I'm really happy about how this figure came out and the details. Despite some of the gripes I have, the positives are just so overwhelming and at such a good price point. So for me, she was definitely worth it. So talking a little bit about the controversy surrounding this figure. Essentially, a lot of people that look at her will think that is a girl in a box being sold. But most of us that know a thing or two about anime will say, well, no, that really feels like a cyberpunk robot character in a box being sold. Between Ghost in the Shell, Bubblegum Crisis, Chobits, which is pretty on the nose, and though she might not have been a robot, but she certainly was programmed, Firefly also had a girl in a box. So the story one chooses to tell when looking at a figure really represents what goes through their minds and perhaps some of the experiences that they've lived in their lives. If seeing something like this gives you a claustrophobic PTSD, or the concept of it disgusts you, that's okay. This figure's just not for you, and you can choose not to look at it. Much like somebody checking out Black Arachnia and seeing her spider form. For real, that spider form will bring up arachnophobia in surprisingly quite a few people. But it's just a toy of a robot. So it's just to say that certain things elicit different feelings from different people. When I look at this, it brings me back to all that nostalgic 1980s and 90s cyberpunk anime, and to an extent 2077 cyberpunk edge runners. The art style and design even fits perfectly with that universe. And for real, I was gonna say it could be the future, but it is definitely the future. This is coming way sooner than we think, people. It's not gonna be long before there's one-on-one scale versions of this robot that you can actually purchase to actually help you out or live your whole life with. And no joke, I even talk to some of my appliances like they're people, and I take care of them and I clean them. I'm a pretty weird person. Hey, I just like to show a little bit of respect to the things that really help me out in life. So that about wraps up this review. If you think you're gonna get this character, please write down in the comment section why, because I'm very curious. And if this character freaks you out, write down why as well, because, oh my goodness, that's a conversation. Hopefully this video helped you figure out if you're still on the fence on getting her or not. And if you like this video just a little bit, it doesn't cost much. Do press that like. Be sure to subscribe. And why not ring that notification bell? This way you'll be notified of future videos that I make. It goes a crazy long way at helping support the channel, and I really appreciate it. Have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye! She's definitely got that blue-haired girl anime energy. Truth be told, it kind of makes me think a bit of that Simpsons episode where Homer's part of the Big Brother adoption agency.
Maybe this was a mistake.
Do you have a bigger brother for me yet? Okay, I'll be back in an hour.
I'll take him. Do you have him in blonde?